matches a little early here in Hull, we've got a chance to show you something really special. In 2014, we spent a year on the road with the tornado Tony Drago. In his own words, it was fun and torture at the very same time. Tony Drago, the Tornado. The 49-year-old Q Sport legend. Passionate, unpredictable, lightning fast, and usually hungry. At his best, he was ranked as the 10th best snooker player in the world. Now he's fighting to remain on the professional tour, despite a 30-year career that has earned him over £1 million. We've spent the last 12 months following this lovable, fragile, but oddly fascinatingly watchable snooker legend. In his own words, his life has been fun and torture at the very same time.
Yeah, leave it on. That f***ing never gave me a f***ing sponsor. Make sure you put it on. Put it on. Bring it on.
What did you say? What happened?
You asked me about the food. You carry on.
Phenomenal talent, phenomenal player. I practice with Drago. His temperament, he's always up and down, and if he's on song, he's one of the greatest players in the world.
Happen again. F the money, the snooker, the pool, everything.
I just remember this guy, he's larger than life. And I don't mean like size-wise larger than life, just his character and personality, and I was taken by him. The way he does everything in life, it's all about with his heart. It's like, it's full throttle.
I still believe I'm good enough, but good enough for what?
Both on the table and away from it, I wanted to know what makes the mind of the tornado really tick.
I was never top 8, I was only provisionally top 8. I was 10, my highest ranking. Listen, I admit it, I underachieved by my standards, but when you look in the where I come from, you know, I mean, it's not like when I started, you know, I had to leave the country at a young age. First 10 years as a pro, all right, I was there, but I wasn't there really because I was getting homesick. I wish I liked Britain then as much as I like it now. And if you look at it, for me, you know, to come from a small country on my own, to survive this long, gone in the top 16 for 5 years, gone in the top 10, like I said, trophies-wise, I underachieved by a country mile. But hey, when you say you underachieve, when you stop playing, I'm still playing, and you don't know what's around the corner.
And on Stephen's team, the fastest queue in the world, would you please welcome from Malta, the Tornado, Tony Drago!
Come to Manchester, and I was managed by a company called Kennedy Street Enterprise. They managed top bands like 10cc and that. And we took on Tony Drago, and we had a year when he was a young lad. And phenomenal talent, phenomenal player. I practiced with Drago, and one of these players, because his temperament, he's always up and down, and if he's on song, he's one of the greatest players in the world. How are your team doing in the Legends Cup this weekend?
Well, not very good, but you can't win every year. We won last year very comprehensively easy, so we're getting beat easy this year.
Stop. Don't.
I love snooker. I was ready to go to Afghanistan to play snooker, never mind to England. You know, as long as there is a table with 6, you know, I mean, people say, all right, there's not much, you know, these days, there wasn't much tournaments. Now we have a lot of tournaments, but, you know I'm not going to be playing top-class snooker forever, but believe me, as long as my eye's still there, even if I'm not a pro anymore, one day I'll be still playing somewhere in a club in a corner, you know, banging snooker balls or whatever, because I just love it. You know, there is players now, they earn £1 million in 4 years. So £1 million in 20 years, it's decent money if I had a business brain to do this and that, but I never had a business brain. I just wanted to play snooker and snooker and snooker. And you know, I've been unlucky as well. You know, I haven't mentioned it. You know, when I was in the top 16, there was a lot of dodgy people in the game. Like once I had a manager called Howard Kruger. You know,
You don't feel you were managed properly?
no, I had a manager called Howard Kruger. I mean, he ripped everybody off. You know, I remember I earned 40 grand one year. I still had to borrow money to go home. I didn't see a penny. I mean, like, you know, I don't say things that I shouldn't say on camera, but, you know, I don't think this guy liked to see me face to face on holiday. I leave it at that.
You know, I remember years ago when Hendry was at his peak and I was practicing with Drago, and he was 7-2 to beat Stephen Hendry, and we all backed him, and he beat Stephen Hendry 5-3 and had 3 centuries and a 90. So he does have, you know, he has fantastic ability, but he doesn't take it to the match table because he gets so sort of wound up.
When I came over in the 80s, I mean, now the standard is so much better and all that, but I was lucky I came in the 80s. You know, everyone was, you know, more chilled out. I did feel pressure because you know, that's what probably kept me back from doing better, you know, because when I came over, you know, I had all the pressure on me from Malta. You know, you need to do this, you this. When I came over, first time, in 1985, I seen a page, the next Jimmy White, then on the next page, the guy who's going to stop Steve Davis. I mean, these guys, I'm looking up to them, and I just learned from Malta, and I'm, whoa, and myself. Jimmy was always my idol, and he still is, and he always will be.
Yeah.
You know, Steve, I just respected so much, you know, fantastic ambassador, fantastic player. Still now the hardest player I've ever played, even with the Hendrys, with the Ronnies. Ronnie, I'll say, you know, Henry will always be at the moment, because Ronnie's still going on. Officially, Henry's the best winner, and I think Henry's mentality, I will put it up there with the Phelps, with the Woods, with the Federer. Ronnie's, you know, the best player I've ever played against, but Steve Davis, and put John Higgins there as well, you know. But Steve Davis is still now, with all the players of now, Steve Davis is still the hardest player I've ever played. It's impatience, but the only thing I could put in it, I mean, when, you know, used to be in Malta young, no money, used to put 10p for 20 minutes. So we don't have many, we didn't have many 20p's those days. So, you know, the quicker I play, the more I play. And it stayed with me, I guess, when I came here. Because, but it worked, it worked, you know, because, you know, I dropped down the rankings now, you know, I'm in my 70s. You know, but because I play like that, I still earn a few quid off the table, and wherever I go, everybody knows me. I mean, there is other players, I'm not going to mention any names, they did more better than me in the game, but if they stop playing on a Wednesday, nobody know who the hell they are on a Thursday. So by playing like the way I play, it kept me carry on.
This year, Dennis has asked Jimmy White to lead out the England and Northern Ireland team, and and Clint is relying on the fastest player in the world, Mr. Tony Drago. So
In the end of the day, if you say to me you'd rather be rather slower and win more trophies, I'll take the rather slower and win more trophies. This game is all about winning. Now I'm involved in your thing, the Legends thing, which is like gave me and other players a new lease of life, and we'll have fun. We earn money out of it. Stuff like that, other exhibitions, I'm happy. I remember in 1980, Jimmy won the World Amateur in Tasmania, and he beat Joe Grech in the semi-final. I remember Joe Grech doing an interview in Malta, say it's like watching Mickey Mouse running around the table. And then I managed to get a tape of Jimmy and watching him play. And that's where my love for Jimmy in the game started, when I seen him play, because I tell you what, I don't think he was ever as quick as I am, but he wasn't far off. He influenced me big time. I must admit, when I was young, you know, our local players influenced me, like Paul. Paul started all off for us, but I wanted the other step. And when I seen like Jimmy playing and all that, I said, well, I like that. You know, and then I started getting, you know, those days it wasn't easy to download everything. Oh, if you go into England, can you get me a tape of Jimmy White and all this? So you rewind it 150 times and all that. So yeah, I'd say Jimmy was the biggest influence on me, yeah, without a doubt.
This is going to be the first in our series of Tony Does New Things. Tony Drago is now officially on Twitter. He is joining the social media. So Tony, we set you up this morning with a picture from the Legends Cup. Tony Drago, his Twitter handle @TornadoDrago.
Yeah.
Multi-snooker and pool player. Already, without even sending everything, there's 25 people following you. So now we're going to send our first message to your fans.
Yeah, welcome to my fans, and hope you keep following me.
Just press it. Tony Drago has sent his first tweet. Now, we should say just the next one, we should say to people in Malta.
In Malta.
So,
Kif, K-I-F,
yeah.
Inti, I-N-T-I.
Kifinti, grazie hafna, talitis aportioni.
Yeah, how are you? Thank you very much for your support. You know, where they getting this scampi from? Scotland? Before I came in this country, I say, you know, I would love to meet Jimmy and all that. And now, many moons later, we're like best friends on the tour. I see him like 5 times a week. We practice. You know, Jimmy now, although he's a snooker player, we're like brothers, you know. I mean, I see him all the time, and, you know, the only time I want him to get beat is when he plays me, and hopefully likewise from his part. Yeah, but so is Jimmy. But if Jimmy loses this, then Stephen will be favourite for the MVP. And then if I'm nice to you in the singles, then you're guaranteed to win it. I'll do anything to get one over Jimmy. Don't worry about that.
Well, I'm not exactly anorexic, but I'll never forget it as long as I live. My girls, 3 of my daughters, there's a year in between them, and they were 6, 7 and 8. And I'd moved back to London from Oxshott, and I know where to play really. He said, come and play in the Mayfair in Tooting. He said, there's a nice table in there. He said, we'll have a best of 15 for 50 quid. So I thought, okay, great. So I get there 10 o'clock in the morning. Thought, well, I'll just have 10 minutes, a bit of breakfast there. So he's there, Drago, and he's gone, he said, we have best of 15 for 50 quid. He said, you want some breakfast? So I said, yeah. I said, I'll have egg on toast, thanks very much. So he's gone to the guy behind the bar. He's gone, egg on toast for Jimmy and the usual for me, eh, Dave? So I thought nothing of it. All of a sudden, this pizza's come. Why I mentioned my kids earlier on, this pizza's come, which would have fed my whole family. And not just is it a full-size pizza, it's got 12 chicken nuggets on it. So, and then we start playing half an hour later, and I watched him walk around the table. I thought, well, he's going to explode any minute. But he never, and he beat me 8-2. I'll never forget it. I was dumbfounded. But the way he just said, usual, hey, Dave, as though he had that every morning.
What's this?
It's a test.
Test? Fuck the test. Where is the, can you, listen, can you find out for me, where is the nearest kebab shop? Is it what?
Nearest kebab shop?
Yeah, in between matches. I'm not joking, serious, I'm starving.
I can see that.
I'm starving. We was in Malta. We went to Germany, played at German Masters, like invitation. Then I seen the worst shot I've ever seen is I'm playing Peter Ebden, right? 4-all against Peter Ebden. And I left him, I'm clearing up, so I finished touching ball on the black. The black is on the cushion behind its spot. So I'm touching ball. Imagine how bad shot I played on the pink. And I put the white behind the brown on the cushion and the black, so they are straight like this. Guess what he tried to do? He tried to roll dead on the black, touching. He nearly went off in the black left pocket. He missed it by this much. Well, the black was here, and he tried to roll onto it, and he finished here.
Oh, Tony, I mean, before I met him, I was actually a fan of Tony. You know, watch him run around the table a million miles per hour, playing snooker like nobody else. So I was always a fan of Tony, but I first met Tony when I was 17. I just started playing pool. I just turned pro. Yeah. And I just remember this guy, he's larger than life. And I don't mean like size-wise, larger than life, just his character and personality. And I was taken by him. But he kind of said a similar thing about me. He's like, well, Raj, you're very outspoken as well. And you know, he goes, you kind of, you know, you're a colourful character, and Q Sports needs people like us in a way. But till this day, I'm good friends with him, but